What's up, guys? Welcome to my video. Today we're going to be talking about New Vision Rain. He doesn't get any special titles on Global. I thought that they would start changing these titles, but he's actually just called Rain New Vision, so that's interesting. So there's that, and we also have Dark Veritas, Rinora, Bruce, who are 5 to 7 stars, but 5-7 stars haven't gotten nearly as bad as how they will be in the future, so I will be reviewing them, of course. I eventually might just consider not even reviewing 5 to 7 stars in the future, because the latest batch on the JP side, the 5 to 7 star, he was so bad that I probably should not even worried about him anymore. I'm getting to the point where I don't know if I should even review them anymore. I don't think people care. That being said, we're gonna go ahead and move into the review. So here we are with Bruce. So I basically remastered my old review, not old review, because it's not that old. We rushed so far onto the global side that I basically remastered my older review of Bruce back when I reviewed him before. So this is a complete remaster. It's mainly the same, it's just I've added some things that I've learned about him and things that I've been learning about some other units. So this whole review basically is just a remaster because it wasn't that long ago, but I did add some things into what I know now compared to what I did back then. So I kind of like the idea that this is like a remaster. Ooh, special. It's remastered. So it's 130% in perils, but on a cooldown I have to wait a bit to get it going, but it's 130% in perils. So if you can make that work, good. It does have dark and light chaining while provoking, which is nice. 20% TDH and 100% guts. Most units have guts at this point. I've been noted. I haven't really mentioned that anymore because guts is kind of like on every unit almost nowadays. And also, I wrote down back then that he can chain with Cipher if he wants, but they kind of both do the same thing, right? They kind of do the same thing, but yeah, at the same time they're dark and light chaining with AMOE frames. So I kind of made that connection. It's a decent connection there. It's decent. It's not the best thing of all time, but it's there if you want to use it. You just have an emergency burst heal on an active ability. You can just use it whenever. It's like a gigantic amount of HP you can use. Split over a few turns, of course, but it's pretty good HP if you want to do it that way. And also he has emergency breaks if you really need them, if the boss dispels himself and your breaker is dead or something's going on with it. You just have 70% attack and magic and also 70% defense and spirit breaks. So if you really need that breaks, I guess you could use him for that. And already done. He's a TDH unit. Kind of okay, but he's a 5 to 7 unit, guys. Remember that. We're starting to go on the downtick here in terms of 5 to 7 star quality. For now, the 5 to 7 stars are okay still. They're still alright. They're not terrible. If you want something that looks terrible, go back and look at my previous review on the JP side, where Black Mage Arc was just dreadfully bad, and also the ones before, like Maria, I think, just okay, but not that great. And so that, yeah, his 70% breaks are single target, so it is what it is. Sometimes you're only fighting one enemy, sometimes you need, more. And a lot of his kit does really seem to be arena focused because he has stop and things like that are completely useless in an actual trial setting. And he has no passive evasion, so all of his provoke is basically you're relying on all of his stacks of evasion, which you can get a lot of. You can get a lot of stacks of evasion, which I guess I didn't mention again. Yeah, my review on him. I still think that this guy is still okay to use. I'll give him a 7. 7 out of 10, that's the average score for me. 7 is my average score. I think that's a pretty good score. I think that he's still fine to use. Destiny is really good too. I think everybody's gonna be good. I think it's 20%. Forgot to write that down, but pretty sure it's 20%. So that's pretty good hat. Moving on to Rinora, right? Rinora. Again, remastered this review as well. The STMR is pretty decent, a lot of HP on that. So, 100% AoE blind, which is has some historic uses back in the day. There's been some bosses that have been needed to be blinded, like Ashura, like Iron Giant, and I think there was one more. But anyways, there have been some historic uses for blind in the past, so there's that. He also has machine type mitigations. Pretty interesting, right? And 70% physical cooldown on a cooldown, of course, physical mitigation on a cooldown. And on his limit burst, 250% defense and spirit buff on a limit burst. And also, that's not the only good thing, 15% mitigation versus machines on the limit burst as well. And here is the main reason why you would consider pulling for him, and why I kind of sad that I might not be able to get him. Just like how Kamari has double evasion, but he has dual cast, guys. So he can cast mitigation on top of Mirage. And go back and look at some of my trial clears. I did use him quite a lot for some trials, and it's gonna hurt me if I don't get him. So I don't know. Maybe I will pull. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But the double Mirage is really, really, really good, guys. Don't underestimate the double Mirage. It's really strong. He's a good unit. He's gonna get a much higher score just because of that. Now that I know, in the future there'll be a few things that we'll be needing needing that double Mirage. So in that sense, I may have given him a low score back then, but now maybe a little higher. So just like I wrote down, I still agree with it. His kit does not seem that special, but we do not have Pwn, we do not have Ambi yet. Where are they at? I don't know. So we don't have Ambi, we don't have Pwn, so that kind of, you could argue that there's not that many supports in comparison to how there would have been, because I wrote that down because there was Pwn and Ambi in the game. At least I think there was Ambi in the game. I know Pwn was specifically in the game. I know Pwn was definitely in the game at this point, a long time ago now, and kind of hard to compete when his kit didn't really have much to offer in comparison to that. So, but now it looks like he might have a little bit more of an edge. Maybe that's what Rinora. Screw out Pwn. Pwn's no longer existing, I guess. His support utility, of course, yes, it won't need to bring it to every fight, but the double Mirage is very, very good. If you haven't noticed by now, I like the double Mirage. And his on-demand mitigation is low. 30% is not that good anymore. Can't really rely on that. So what is my score? Just because of the double Mirage, 7.5. 7.5 out of 10 is a very good score. It's above average. The double Mirage saves him from getting below 7, because otherwise he's just So 7.5. Moving on. Dark Veritas. So instead of making a separate video like I did before, we're just gonna put it all in one. So I do apologize that I had him separately in a separate video compared to Rain and everything, but now I know a lot more about him than I did before. And I think I talked about it in a pretty good light before. Now, not so much. So let's get into the good parts. 75% full break. Gotta level it up all the way first, though. He gets a lot of modifier boost to level older chaining if you were gonna use that, I guess. But I don't know if I would recommend it. Maybe Divine Ruination will become more useful on the global side, with like Rena and stuff, maybe. His Limp Burst and his Brave Shift form does increase dark damage, which is pretty good. And he does have a lot of modifier, or not, he has a lot of Limp Burst damage in his Brave Shift form. So, he does get triple cast. You can basically always get triple cast as long as you're using that chaining move. When you use a chaining move, you get triple cast off of that. He just has Beast, Human, and Dragon Killers, which is a very, very nice variety there, especially Human. 100% TDH in this Brave Shift form, and also, of course, he absorbs dark damage. Now, there's a lot of net downsides, and it sucks. Now I know a lot more about him. He's locked to dark, basically. He's locked to dark. You can get around it, but his Brave Shift form is locked to dark. His mods are at this point going to be very low compared to what we know now. In the future, his mods are not as good as future units are going to be. That are all even older future units. They're going to get Neovision upgrades. His mods are just looking a little on the low side. No dual cast, and also triple cast, you gotta earn it. So it's a little slow, even though you get triple cast permanently forever. You can get it forever, but Still slow. So what did my score? I'm gonna give him a 6.5 out of 10. That's, remember guys, 7 is my average. That's a little bit below average. Now that I know from what I've taken from my JP experiences and put it onto this remastered review, actually this has been a complete revamp. Now that I know a lot more about him, there's gonna be a lot better, stronger stuff in the future, and that's not even talking about new units. That's talking about old units too. A lot of older units are gonna be better than Dark Veritas at this point. His only saving grace is that he has a lot of killers. I mean, he can't stay in Brave Shift permanently. He can't Brave Shift on turn 1. Sorry to deliver the bad news. I know a lot of people were excited. Like, I was excited back in the day too, because I had, oh my god, I had tons of Dark Veritas. I mean, if you don't have anything, but you should have Tifa at this point. It's kind of hard to, it's hard to make him sell when you have Tifa for free. But if you don't have anyone else, I guess you could make the case that you could be, you know, if you really wanted to. But 6.5 for that, and here comes the main event, right? Yeah, the main event. This was also a remastered review. I've added a lot of new things, and actually I just removed his rotation completely and just added more of my insight. So I've been using it for a very long time now, several months. So first of all, his STMR is below average. I would not say that's worth going for. I would not, definitely not worth Moogling. No way. No way. No way. It's not that good because we're gonna get into that really quickly here. So one of his moves gives himself, or gives everybody, 15% fire damage, basically, which will override that equipment. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. If not, then that'd be pretty crazy, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works, like most buffs. So it's not as good. His STMR is just not that good, and it's not an elemental as well. So anyways, 100% AoE, physical and also magical beast killer, which is very nice. Also extreme Nova frames, which would be a lot more relevant on the global side. There's at least, you have Zahn, who can also do extreme Nova frames, I'm pretty sure, and maybe the new Ellen will also have extreme Nova frames. He has some fire resist, he has stat buffs, 280% stat buff, not to be exact, 280% AoE attack buff. And it chains, by the way, it's a chaining move. He has some mitigation, he has a move that you can imbue yourself, but you target someone, imbue them as well, so you can actually imbue 3 people, including Rain. That's 4 people that you could imbue in one turn, if you wanted to. I would not recommend imbuing 4 people at once, but you can. 200% TDH, which is pretty standard, and I wrote down Guts again, back in the day. Beast and human killers, which is nice. Beast, especially at this point, there's gonna be a lot of Beast trials in the near future. And well, I forgot to mention that his extreme Nova frames is only in his Brave Shift form. His normal form does have a chaining wound burst, but I don't think it's not a chaining family. It's just himself. So yeah, his imbuing is also chaining, by the way. His imbue is also a chain. So I still agree with the 75% TDH materia on his TMR. I basically just pretend that it's 50%, just ignore the 75. And also his base form limit burst does give AoE fire imbue, which could be bad, could be good, depending on what your situation is. And another a slightly clunky thing that is in his Brave Shift form, he has fire imperil, so his normal form does not have any fire imperil. So hope you can get someone else for that. So my insight, after using him for a while, like I mentioned, he's really best suited as a support DPS. He really is not going to be that great as a main DPS. You'll be a little disappointed. He's not meant to be a main DPS, and I think I said that in my old review. He's meant to be a side DPS for you to help you imbue your units, help you do some fire damage, get you some beast killer if you need it, give you an attack buff, and you're on your way to doing a lot of damage. And then maybe after all he's done with all that stuff, he can shift over to his Brave Shift form and then do really good damage then. But his main strength, and the reason why he has such a good niche, is because he can be a really strong side DPS. As a main DPS, you're just going to be a little disappointed. So hope you guys are not looking forward to him using as your main DPS, because you will not like that. you'll be much more happy that him helping your main DPS, I think. My score for him after knowing all the things about him and all that kind of stuff, he's gonna get an 8.5 out of 10. That is a very good score. He's one of the best night vision units in the game currently, even now, because of all the support capabilities that he can do and the imbues and all that good stuff. Hopefully there'll be more extreme Nova frames in the future, but right now there really is not that many. So, I forgot to mention, I was supposed to mention this. I guess it doesn't matter anymore because it'll be next anyways. It's the next slide. So, hope you guys are paying attention so far. If you've been watching this part of the video, make sure to type in hashtag 2H. Hashtag 2H will be the keyword for this part of the video, but we're not done yet. So if you watch this far, 2H, hashtag 2H in the comments. Now let's move on to leveling up the importance of Rain's brave abilities. So the high one is definitely 110% the Grazing Saber, which increases all fire damage by all allies by 15% at level 5. So you definitely want to go ahead and level that one up. That is the most important ability that you can level up. Do anything else. And the medium will be the translated Ash Blade, which is a pretty good modifier in his brave shift form. In the medium section, whenever you want to get to that. In the low section is not really that important because it's an AoE move, but all it really does is just it's on his lower modifier side when he gets level 5, and all it does is just restore HP and MP, which is something your healer can do for you, so you don't really need that too much. It is an AoE move, so maybe if you want to do that. So that's about it. Yeah, I hope you guys are liking this reviews. If you feel like I can improve in some way, please feel free to let me know. 8.5 for Rain, very high score. So yeah, let me know if I can improve in some way for you guys. I really want my reviews to be out there with all the big dogs. I want to be known as I don't want to be known as the guy who's salty and makes pull videos all the time and is salty and stuff. That's not what I want. I want to be, more than that. So I'm hoping you guys are liking my reviews and all that kind of stuff. Most of you guys seem to like them. But if there's any way that I can improve them in any way, even though I already improved them tremendously, and I've also added those brave ability review portion for you guys as well for global, after knowing a lot of things. The reason why I didn't do Dark Veritas is because I really feel like after my review, I don't think a lot of people are going to be using him. Really want to use him. Just be sparing on it because I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I didn't really feel like making one for that one because just like I'm not going to recommend for you to level up any of his abilities, to be honest with you. I'd recommend for you just to save your resources instead of doing that. I know that sounds really harsh, but I'm also at the time I'm trying to help you guys out. So yeah, if you watched all the way to the end of this video, make sure to type in hashtag Rain. So those 2 keywords in this video. If you watch all the way to the end of this video, you should be typing in 2 keywords at the end of this video. The one for now is hashtag Rain. But there was one other one, if you skipped all the way to the end, then you didn't watch all the way through. So this is a little bit of a test. My eye seems really messed up, this one. I don't know why. It looks really weird in the camera, sorry about that. It looks weird. So yeah, 2 keywords. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you dislike the video, please give it a dislike. Let me know if you're going for Rain. I might go for some ticket polls and things like that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.